Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm adding heat transfer vinyl to Koozies using my Easypress Mini. I found these on Amazon and they have lots of different colors to choose from. These are fun and easy to put together with the Cricut machine. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and please subscribe if you're new to my channel. First, I'm just going to upload my two images. I'm going to click on Uploads, and I've already uploaded these, but you can click on this button to get them from your downloads. And these are two Patreon images. I use so many of those on my channel. You can see all of these images here, besides these two, are also available for whoever signs up for my Patreon account. We're up to a little over 100 images right now, so you can find out all of the information down below, and you can use these images for personal or commercial use, and the Patreon account just helps support my channel as well. So I'm just going to insert these into Cricut Design Space. I'm going to make these smaller so it's a little bit easier to see it. Then I'm just going to decide on what color I want to make these. I might zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see this. This is all grouped together, so I'm going to come up here and hit Ungroup. You can see that it has a lot of layers over here, but I'm going to try to make that a little easier. I'm going to take Happy 4th of July and I am going to just weld those together. You can also attach them as well, but I'm just going to weld it. Then I'm going to take the firework and weld these as well, just trying to make it a little bit easier. And I accidentally selected Happy 4th of July, so I'm just going to go over to my layers panel, hit Shift on my keyboard and select that so that I will get rid of that. And it looks like a couple of the hearts didn't get selected. You can see over here in the layers panel that's not selected. So I'm going to select that. Then it looks like the rest of those are all selected. So I am going to weld those as well. Now I'm going to make this color red, and I'm going to make Happy 4th of July blue. I have red glitter HTV, so I'm going to be using glitter for the red and just the plain regular HTV for the blue. You can see in my layers panel, it makes it a lot easier to see this because it's one layer when it's welded together, and that's just specifically toward these hand-drawn images. It just gets so many layers, so when you weld it, it makes it easier to see. But normally with other SVGs, you shouldn't have to do that. I hope that makes sense. And you can see with the stars and stripes, it has all these layers, so like the letters of stripes is all separate. So that's why sometimes it's easier to just weld it together. But now I'm going to ungroup this and decide what colors I want for these. I'm going to do stars and this outer star. I'm going to make that blue. And as you can see, it also looks like these two stars are selected, but if you look in the layers panel, you can tell that they're not because they're not highlighted. So if I am struggling with something, I always like to look in the layers panel. It helps a lot. Now I'm going to go up to this and change it to blue. And the rest I'm going to make red, but as you can see, these are all separate. I am just going to weld stripes together. And then I'm just going to select each of these separately. Then I am going to make this red. So now I have the colors that I want. One last thing I'm going to do is just bring stripes in a little bit and move my and up a little bit. The last thing that I want to do with the stars and stripe image is I want to attach the blue pieces, then attach the red pieces, because if I click on make it, it will mix up the blue pieces and the red pieces. And I think for lining it up on my koozie, I think it'll be easier to just attach it. And I'll show you when I go to the layers panel how it looks. So I'm just going to hit attach, and then I'll grab all these pieces and attach these as well. Oh, I'm going to hit undo because I accidentally attached the wrong thing. So I'm going to hit stripes, and I'm actually going to go over to my layers panel and just select all the red. Then I'll hit attach. So you can see these pieces are attached like this. So this is the way it'll show up on the mat, and it'll cut out like that. So then when I go to line it up, it'll be a lot easier to do that. I don't need to attach for this because I already welded it, and I welded this as well. I'm going to hit undo on my keyboard to move it back so that I can size these. I want it to be about 3 inches for the width, so I am going to select 3. And then for this one, I think I want to make it just a little over 3 since it's just a little bit wider. I get some questions sometimes on how I decide what size to make my images, and what I actually do is just take a measuring tape and measure, like on the Koozie, I measured how wide I wanted it, and then I decided the Koozies, like the max is about 3.5 inches, so I wanted to make it around 3 inches, and then I just auto adjust the height with Cricut. Hopefully that makes sense as well. Now that I have these sized and the colors that I want, I am going to click on Make It. It'll separate it here by the reds. I'm using the same red glitter, so it'll just separate it like that, and with the blue. I'm going to mirror these because it's iron-on. Then I'll hit continue. The red is glitter iron-on, so I'm going to select that. Once it's done cutting this out, it will have a check mark by it, and it'll go down to the blue. All you have to do to change the glitter iron-on is just select it. Then I'll choose everyday iron-on for the blue one. So now I'm ready to show you how I cut this out. I'm using glitter Caesar Easyweed. I love how pretty the glitter vinyl is. I'm putting the shiny side down on the mat, and the Cricut will cut out the design. Next, I'll put my blue vinyl on my mat. This is either Cricut iron-on or heat transfer vinyl. I cannot remember. I bought it a little while ago. The vinyl piece had some bubbles in it, so I like to use my brayer tool to get those out. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my post about this trash can. I love it for throwing away heat transfer vinyl that I've weeded out, and it's small, so it just sits on my counter. I'll have this link down below if you are interested in it. Now I'm just weeding out my vinyl. I love Cricut's self-healing mat to weed on. The firework is pretty thin, so I had to weed it really slowly and had to use my weeding tool to press the pieces down as I pulled the vinyl away. And one of the pieces came off and I had to put it back on the carrier sheet. Let me know if you've made any 4th of July projects this year. I would love to hear what you made. I pull up my Cricut heat guide and select my Easypress Mini. I'm using glitter and regular iron-on. I check the setting for glitter first by choosing glitter and polyester. It says to set it at medium for 25 seconds. Then I checked the everyday iron-on and it was the same setting. The Easypress Mini is so easy to use. You just press the button on the side and choose what setting. It said medium, so I set it to the middle one and let it warm up. I run my Easypress over the Koozie first, then I let it cool down a little before I add my vinyl to it. First, I'm just lining up both designs to figure out where I want it centered. Then I take the firework off and press each one separately. I don't recommend pressing them together because the carrier sheets will overlap and that can put a crease in the vinyl. I have learned from experience from that one. I press my Easypress Mini over the vinyl for about 12 seconds. I don't press the full time because I'm going to be pressing the other vinyl down as well. I like to press just enough to tack the vinyl down and be able to take off the carrier sheet. Since I didn't press the full amount of time, I slowly take the carrier sheet off just in case the vinyl didn't stick down. Next, I place the firework vinyl on. This time I place a Teflon sheet on top. You can use parchment paper as well. You definitely need one of those two for the second piece because you can melt the other vinyl that is already on the Koozie. This is another thing that I've learned because it has happened to me. This time I press over the entire design for 25 seconds. You do not need to press down too hard with the Easypress Mini, and you want to make sure you are using constant movement with this, unlike the regular Easypress. Let me know in the comments if you have an Easypress Mini. I absolutely love the Mini and use it way more than I thought. The vinyl goes on the Koozies so easily, and I love the glitter vinyl for the firework. Now I'll make my second one the same way, and I realized watching this back I completely forgot to preheat my koozie this time. The blue vinyl didn't want to stick down all the way, so I preheated it just a tiny bit with my Easypress. Then I put my parchment paper and did the full 25 seconds. And these are done. It's a very quick and easy project to put together. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, once again, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and check out my Patreon account if you are interested in images like these, plus several others.